Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rachel, the Messy Minimalist. This video is all about little ways to save money in your day-to-day life if you are on a debt-free minimalism journey. Today, we are shooting this video in our lobby of our motel. It's a complete construction zone, but you're only seeing this nice little bit of it. Oh yeah, focus, laser focus right here. But anyway, so yeah, it's a work in progress down here, but the reason I'm shooting this video is because people who are on a minimalism journey oftentimes find themselves on a debt-free journey, and there's just a lot of synergy between those two journeys. And I think it's because if you're not an aesthetic minimalist and you're not in it for the look, then you're in it for the lifestyle, the simplicity, wanting to put more emphasis in yourselves, your experience, your relationships, things like that. That's where money comes into it, because in order to live that free lifestyle, you do need to get rid of your debt. Debt is just this stressor that's always there in the back of our minds, whether or not you realize it's there. I can say that firsthand because for the majority of my adult life, I've been in significant debt, and I'm not anymore. I didn't even really mention to the world when we went debt-free. It was something that we quietly became debt-free. And you know, it's weird because you don't talk about money with your peers a lot. It's this taboo thing that you just aren't supposed to talk about. Who do you tell that you went debt-free to? Your parents, I guess. Anyway, Dan and I, we quietly became debt-free, and it was a really, really exciting thing for us, but it wasn't unintentional because like everything else in our lives these past 5 years or so, every move we've made has been very, very intentional, including moves to become debt-free. So I just want to talk to you all about the things that we've done that have helped us along the way to our debt-free journey and ultimately to get here. These are just things that have helped us. Maybe some will work for you, maybe they won't, but they're definitely ways that you can save a good chunk of money. So unlike the video I did a couple weeks ago that was about saving time, this is not about saving time, this is about saving money. So here are our minimalist, debt-free, money-saving tips if you are on a debt-free journey. And I have a list because I'm gonna try to be so concise this time. I don't wanna be long-winded, I just wanna give you the tips. Give me the tips. Here's the tips. Okay, in no particular order. Actually, this one's kind of funny. I realize this one is a little weird. I'm gonna jump right into the weird because I feel like then that gives you an idea that we're just eccentric people. But Dan, my husband, has never had his hair cut at a salon before. I think I did a video a while ago about like 10 things you don't know about me, and that might have been one of my things, which is actually kind of about him. But I have cut his hair ever since we met. And prior to that, his mother cut his hair, and it stemmed not from being a bizarro family, but from being frugal. His family was frugal, therefore they cut their own hair. And when Dan and I started getting serious, his mother said like, well, Rachel, I think it's time to pass the scissors on. And she gave me a hair cutting kit and I started cutting Dan's hair. So for 15 years, I have been cutting Dan's hair myself. Let's do some math here. That number does not seem as big as it should be, but that's $2,100. And that's for a dude's haircut. So the point is, that's all money that we have saved. Neither of my daughters have been to the salon. I just cut their hair at home. I know that that will change eventually, but for us, while we were working on being debt-free, that was one of those easy things to say, you know what, we're just gonna do this at home and we're gonna make it work. That was a bad one to start with. So the next one is getting a used and reliable car. I think there's this trap that we fall into, we as people, as a society, that we feel like our car is this teller of who we are. If our car isn't spiffy, then there must be something wrong with us. I couldn't disagree more. If you only make $30,000 a year, you had better not have a car that costs more than $15,000. That's just my opinion, and probably Dave Ramsey's opinion too. Having a good but reliable car, more than likely you can find one for a couple $1,000s, $5,000 at the most. I genuinely think that. $5,000 at the most. It doesn't have any special bells and whistles. You don't need it while you're working on your debt-free journey. Why are we tricking everybody? You may think that, well, my car needs to represent who I really am, but in general, who you really are is broke. So we're all driving cars that represent a wealthy person when we should be driving cars that represent who we really are, which is broke. If you have debt, you're broke. That's a big misconception. Oh, a good rotating monthly payment. No, you're broke. I genuinely believe that. Laying it to you straight. Anyway, your car, it should be anywhere between $3,000 and $5,000 at the most until you've paid off your debt. That is my opinion. That's what we did. And ultimately that allowed us to not only have paid off that car earlier, but start working down on our debt. The next one, this one's kind of an obvious one, but I have to put it out there. Eating in more often, or always, just always eating in. It's very hard to eat in when you're in your 20s. I just genuinely believe, especially your lower 20s, that eating in is difficult. There's a lot of exciting and delicious mouth pleasure-y places to go and try new things, but we found that we were spending about $700 a month eating out at restaurants. That includes going out for drinks and things like that. That would have been in my early 20s, $700 a month. That's insane, insane, considering that I was not making, I don't know what I was even making then. We were maybe making $25,000 a year. I'm not sure, it was a long time ago, but we were spending $600 to $700 eating out at restaurants. That's crazy, that's too much. We were eating out like rich people, but we're not rich people, we were broke people. So anyway, eating out at restaurants, that's the kind of thing. We cut back on that. Now we only eat out at a restaurant once every couple of weeks. And again, we have a lot more money now. We were able to use all of that money that we were spending on our debt. That's a big thing. $600 to $700 a month. That should not be being spent on eating out. I feel like I'm still spending too long. I'm gonna go fast. Okay. Oh, this is a big one. Okay, buy online. What you pay extra for shipping, you'll save on not having impulse buys. So that's an interesting one. Let me say that again. If you buy a lot of your stuff online, you may pay a little extra for shipping, maybe not, but you will definitely save on what you would have done on impulse buys. When we are physically in a store, there is this weird visceral thing that happens where it's a lot easier for us to buy something in a store than it is for us to buy something online. And my reasoning for this is, when you're in a store, it's there, you can touch it, you can investigate it, you can hold it. The longer you hold something and walk around the store with it, the more likely you are to already feel like it's yours and therefore to purchase it. When you're buying something online, usually you're not just window shopping online, you're going for the source, you know what you need, you find it, you buy it, you get it shipped, you're done. That's the way that we choose to do it. We don't do a lot of browsing, and our reason for that is that we are removing ourselves from the temptation of an impulse buy. That's part of why we shop online. And oftentimes, if you are planning your shopping out correctly, you won't even have to pay shipping. It doesn't take much to trigger a free shipping. So that's a good way to save a couple bucks, or sometimes more. That's a good way to save on impulse buys. So the next one is buying good coffee. If you're a coffee drinker, you can save a lot if you just buy your own coffee and brew it at home. If you just go to the store and you buy your favorite coffee, or you go to the coffee shop and you buy your favorite coffee there, and brew it yourself, you will save a lot of money. And it can be really good coffee. That's the beauty of it. Buy the stuff you love, but brew it at home. And a good tip to force yourself to do this is to invest in a good coffee mug. A mug that you like to carry around. It's a to-go mug. You can bring it out and about. I think that the biggest thing for me was that I always wanted my coffee on the go. So if you have a mug that you feel good holding, that's a good way to encourage you to brew your own coffee at home. The next one, stop buying new things. Your old, ugly stuff still works fine. It's fine. Just because it's ugly, it's okay. I can't stress this enough. It gets me so fired up. And it's because there is this people who feel like they need to have the new things for whatever reason. And I'm probably part of it sometimes, and you are probably part of it sometimes. It's contagious. How many times have you replaced something that was old and ugly but not broken? We've all heard the phrase, if it's not broken, don't fix it. If it's not broken, don't fix it. If it's not broken, don't replace it. Ugly things have uses too. Ugly things are not broken. I guess what I'll say is this. I love aesthetic minimalism too. And I can't wait to continue upgrading everything that we have around us. I can't wait for my personal space to exude the feelings that I feel good in, to feel like my space. But while we were in debt, there was no point in upgrading that stuff. If your stuff is ugly and not on trend, just let it be ugly for a little while longer. Just deal with it, because you don't need to finance something beautiful, throw away your working ugly thing, and then further add to the fact that you're in debt. Not only then are you not eliminating debt, you're probably adding more debt. So just my biggest piece of advice, probably the most important one, don't replace your ugly thing just because it's ugly. Wait until you're debt free, then start making those big, beautiful upgrades. Oh, this was an interesting one. This is a good one for parents. If you buy a digital movie or rent a digital movie online, specifically for kids, like I get that if you're gonna watch it on a big TV, this makes a difference. But if your children are gonna be watching it on a tablet or a small device, do the SD version instead of the HD version. So we have purchased like Paw Patrol, Puppy Dog Pals. The cost of an HD version is it's almost twice as much as the cost of the SD version, and you can't tell the difference. And you can do that for any of your movies. If you're gonna be watching or renting a movie and doing it on a small screen, you're still not gonna be able to tell the difference, especially if you're a kid and you're watching a cartoon. But again, the way you do it is you just look next to the rent or buy button. There's usually more options. And if you click that, it'll give you the rent or buy in SD, and that's where you're gonna save the money. Game changer. The next one. So as you get windfalls, put it towards your debt. If you don't know what a windfall means, in this case, it basically means a chunk of money comes your way, whether it's a tax return, a raise, a birthday, whatever it might be. If you find yourself receiving a windfall of money, then my biggest tip is to just put that money towards your debt. And I know that can be really sad sometimes because you feel like, well, you know, I'll keep a little bit of it for myself, right? I deserve this. But what you deserve is to be debt free. You deserve to not be a slave to the system. You deserve to not be broke. And when you receive that money, if you still have debt, you're still broke. So don't spend it like you're not. Instead, just throw that money at your debt and you will see your debt go down faster than what you realize. If you receive any kind of windfall, put it towards your debt. Just do it. Opting for a high deductible health plan. That was a big one. If you are pretty healthy, then a high deductible health plan can be a good way to start chipping away at your debt faster. We, for a while, were doing the low deductible health plans and we were just oozing money every month on our premiums. Then we opted for a high deductible health plan, and even though we still have to go to the marketplace, we spend a couple $100s a month on health insurance. That's significantly less than I think we were spending, like $700 a month on health insurance, because we don't work for a big company, we work for ourselves. Therefore, we had no choice but to go to the marketplace, and that's what we were with. We had about $700 for a plan. It was with tax credits. So our plan would have been even higher. But now that we do the high deductible plans, we save about $400 a month, and that's just money that we just started chucking towards our debt, and that really helped it. If you think about that too, like $400 a month, let's do some math again. What's $400 a month? That's $4,800. So by us opting for a high deductible healthcare plan, we saved $4,800 per year. And we started doing this about 3 years ago. So that's $14,400. That's probably why we were able to like knock out our last loan. Over 3 years, $14,300 we saved by doing a high deductible healthcare plan. That's crazy. The next one. Okay. Buy bulk, buy generic. Wow, yeah, that was a big one. Buying in bulk. So I mentioned this again a few videos ago, but we buy as many things as we can in bulk that we're willing to store in our house. So we don't go crazy over it, but if we can get a deal on something in bulk, whether it's paper towels, toilet paper, that kind of thing, even like lotions, whatever it is, if it's something we know we use, and we have the place to store it, we will buy it in bulk. And oftentimes we're saving just a couple dollars here and there, but it all adds up. Every bit of it adds up. It's the same reason why your $3 cup of coffee that we're no longer doing is adding up and helping, because every little bit adds. So buy in bulk, buying generic. Hopefully you are investigating your products a little more and making decisions that are right for you, but we find that for the most part, generic is fine for us. Oh yeah, here we go. So I might get some pushback on this one. I've been using the same razor, it's a Venus, I think, brand, razor handle for as long as I can remember. I can't even tell you, as long as I can remember. I don't ever remember getting a new one, so it is definitely older than 10 years, maybe 15 years. It's a really old razor handle. But the point is I would buy in bulk, like additional razor packs, and you just pop off the head, you put your new head on, and you're good. Well, I would also use that same razor head for months and months and months before replacing it. And when it started to feel dull, you just kind of go over that same area 5 or 6 times, and I guarantee you will find that it still gives you a really close shave. That's what's worked for me. I don't spend excessive amounts of money on razor heads, and I shave my legs every time I get in the shower. It's just something where I don't consider that to be a big expense, but some people do find that to be a pretty big expense. So that's an easy way to cut back, is just extend the life of your razor, buy a good razor blade, and then use it to its fullest. Use it over that same area, just do 5 or 6 extra swipes and you'll get a good clean shave. Automating bills so you don't have any more late fees. Okay, if you're not automating your bills, you should, because if you are getting charged any late fees ever, you are more broke than you were before. You are on a downhill journey. Don't say, well, I have a good enough memory, I'm gonna pay my bill on time. Just do an automated payment. Even if it's a minimum payment and you plan on paying in full that month, as long as you have a minimum set up, then you can still come through and pay your payment in full or whatever it is you're gonna do. But don't let yourself get late fees. Same goes with bank fees. If you are getting a monthly bank service fee every month, go talk to your bank and figure out, what do I need to do to not have that service fee? Sometimes it's setting up a direct deposit. Sometimes it's keeping a minimum balance. Sometimes it's just switching the type of account that you have. So don't have unnecessary fees coming out of your bank if you don't have to. The best thing you can do is just talk to them. And a lot of times too, if you talk to them and they say they can't remove the fee, shop around, because there are banks that don't charge a service fee. You just need to find them. That's a easy but good one to do. So as a little bonus here, I actually asked you all a few different ways that you save money on a day-to-day basis, and here are some of these standout ways that you can also save money aside from the ones that I mentioned before. A Lotus in the Desert suggests volunteering as a free way to get new skills as well as entertainment. M. Greer 5 suggested to use the library because we already pay for it with our taxes, so we might as well use it. Like many others, CircleBot suggested to do no-spend weeks or no-spend months, where they wouldn't purchase anything that wasn't a necessity for the duration of that period. They would also suggest shopping their pantry before getting groceries. Awesome idea. And the last one is from Steina, who says that when considering a new purchase, instead of asking, do I really need this? She asks, can I do without this? Will my life be made any worse without it? I love the way she rephrases this question. I think it's going to be really helpful. That's it, that's my list. Those are all of the little things that you can do to help you save money while you're on your debt-free journey. Hopefully they're helpful to you. And if you have any other ideas of ways to save money that I didn't mention, I would love it if you threw it in the comments. I know a lot of people come to these videos to get ideas, and the comments is a great community space for you to exchange those. So anyway, if you have thoughts that I didn't share in this video, please do toss them in the comments. Let me know what you think and let others know your unique ways to save money every month. Yay on everyone's debt-free journey. I hope you all get there sooner than later, and I will see you all in my next video. So this video is all about debt, and no, it's not about debt. What am I saying? That's a different video. 2015, that's 10 years to the 20. So for, whoa. I would say that one of the big helps, how many times am I gonna say big? One of the really big helps, I can't even talk. You know what, you're just gonna get bleh, like hillbilly talk here. It's like a computer screen loading. If we are all just computer programs, it's just loading. I'm not crazy, you're crazy. No, seriously, I'm not crazy though. I love the sound of our chimes. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I could just zone out to them forever. You know when you feel yourself zoning like this right now? And it just feels so right. Like you don't even want to change your glance at all because it just feels right. So good.